There's something no one really prepares you for when you start studying for competitive exams. Not your school, not your coaching center, not even your seniors. It's not just about how much you study. It's about how much you can survive. The pressure. The uncertainty. The guilt of not doing enough, even after pulling all-nighters. You know that feeling, you wake up, already tired. You scroll past toppers' timetables on Instagram, save another last 30 days strategy reel, and tell yourself, from tomorrow, I'll start fresh. But tomorrow never feels enough. Because while you're stuck in loops of motivation and burnout, something massive has shifted. Let me say it straight, if you're still studying the old way. You're playing chess against someone using Google Maps, ChatGPT, and a laser beam. This isn't just about being smart anymore. This is about being strategic. And in this video, I'm giving you the exact, no fluff, step-by-step blueprint to master any competitive exam, from UPSC to CAT, from SAT to ACCA, using AI. This isn't a list of tools. This is the new skill your future depends on, but wait, this isn't a tech tutorial. This is something more dangerous. Something more powerful. Something more personal. I want to take you back to a rainy evening. Arian, 24, a CCA aspirant, tired eyes, unfinished mock test, already mentally rehearsing what he'll say when he fails again. Third attempt. He looked at his screen. Google Doc open. One line typed, I'm not good enough. And then, just out of frustration, not hope, he asked ChatGPT a question: how do I study for ACCA when I've already failed twice? What came next wasn't magic. It was method. It didn't say believe in yourself. It said, break syllabus into 7 clusters. Connect each with a spaced recall cycle. Automate quiz generation. Match performance to previous error patterns. It gave him a map. For the first time, he wasn't guessing. And guess what? 3 months later, he passed. Same syllabus. Same books. Different system. This isn't about Arian. This is about what changed for him, and what needs to change for you. Because while everyone's grinding, burning out, falling asleep on their flashcards, the smartest ones, they're quietly letting AI do 60% of the heavy lifting, organizing, revising, testing, and even coaching. This is the competitive edge no one's teaching in your coaching classes. Because they're stuck in chalkboards. You're about to enter the algorithm, and if you're watching this right now, you probably don't need motivation, you need results. You need someone to cut through the fog. And that's why you're here. This isn't another video. This is your AI playbook. Follow every step. Stay till the end. Because the people who do are the ones who leave behind the panic, the mess, and the burnout, and walk into the exam room with something rare these days: clarity. Now, let's get to work. He didn't even believe in it at first. Arian thought it was another internet trend, AI tools, study bots, all that. Just noise. What he needed was time, motivation, and a miracle. But here's the thing about miracles: they don't always look like lightning bolts. Sometimes, they look like a boring web page. One random night, at 2:47 a.m., tired and scrolling through Reddit, Arian stumbled upon a comment. Just one line: try ChiroMind. It doesn't just track your study time. It predicts your burnout curve. No likes. No replies. Just one anonymous post. But that comment, that tool, turned into something he never saw coming. He signed up. No expectations. Just desperation. And on day 3, the app sent him a notification that made his jaw drop. Your peak cognitive window is between 6:40 a.m. and 8:20 a.m. Schedule theory revision here for 37% higher retention. How did it know? He had noticed he focused better early morning, but never that precise. Then it suggested pausing mock tests on Thursdays, because data showed his accuracy dropped on that day, consistently. This wasn't motivation. This was pure psychological warfare, against his own brain's weaknesses. And for the first time in months, Arian felt like he wasn't fighting alone, but here's the twist. As Arian began using AI, he realized something disturbing: almost everything he'd been taught about exam prep was wrong. The myth that longer study hours mean more results. Crushed. The idea that completing the syllabus twice guarantees success. Disproved. AI revealed that his revision was 80% redundant. That his anxiety before mock tests was actually caused by the timing of his practice. He was triggering cortisol spikes without knowing it. This subplot, his journey, wasn't about tech. It was about revelation. Layer by layer, AI wasn't just showing him what to do, it was showing him what not to do. And that was more powerful. The tool wasn't emotional. It wasn't motivational. It was brutally honest. And that honesty became his biggest weapon. Now pause for a second. You may be thinking, okay, great for Arian. But what about me? Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever repeated the same mock test mistakes without knowing why? Ever forgotten something just 3 days after revising it perfectly? Ever felt like the more you study, the more lost you feel? That's not your fault. That's a system problem. The system is built on guesswork. But AI runs on patterns. That's why Arian's story isn't a sidetrack. It's your mirror, because as you keep watching, I'm going to reveal the same AI tools, techniques, and myth-busting strategies he used, and how they can flip your entire prep strategy upside down in a way that finally makes sense. I won't throw all of it at you now. That's not how this works. I'll drip it into your journey, just like it unfolded for him. Stay close. The next thing I show you might just break the one belief that's been sabotaging your scores all along. No matter how motivated you are, there are 3 enemies that always sneak in when you're preparing for a competitive exam: time, stress, and overload. Not just the kind of overload that makes you yawn at your desk, but the type that makes your brain shut down mid-page. You look at one chapter and suddenly remember you haven't touched the previous 4. The clock ticks. Your stress spikes. And what was supposed to be a focused 2-hour session becomes a guilt-ridden scroll through old notes and low-key panic attacks. This isn't just your struggle. It's practically universal. But here's the uncomfortable truth: your competitors won't all lose to it. Some are beating it already. Not because they're smarter, but because they're not prepping alone anymore. They've handed off the chaos to AI. Let's start with time management. You've heard the phrase study smart, not hard so often it probably means nothing by now. But AI finally gives that line some teeth. Tools like StudySpark and ZenRank AI aren't just timers, they literally track your mental fatigue index. Based on your performance across sessions, they recommend when you should study theory, when to revise, and when to rest. Not based on general advice, based on you. And here's where it gets even crazier: they auto-adjust your daily schedule if your performance drops. It's like having a hyper-intelligent study coach that updates your game plan live, while you focus on execution. Now let's talk about stress. You might think stress is a motivation killer. But here's the shocking twist: AI can predict your burnout before it even happens. No joke. A little-known tool called Cortex Map uses machine learning to detect stress patterns from your study logs, revision gaps, and even the time between your answer attempts. If it spots a pattern that usually leads to performance dips, it stops you. It tells you when to pause, how long, and what kind of content to shift to instead. You're no longer pushing blindly, you're navigating with a compass. And that third beast, content overload. AI's response? Ruthless filtration. You don't need to revise everything. You need to revise the right things, at the right time. Tools like RecallForge generate personalized quizzes based only on your historical weak points. Not only does it cut down your revision by over 40%, it sharpens your memory where it matters most, without wasting mental energy on chapters you already mastered. One student using RecallForge reported a 22% improvement in mock scores, just by revising less. And in the world of competitive exams, the smallest edge can change everything. Now that you've seen what AI can really do for your exam prep, the next move is yours. If you're serious about leveling up, not next week, not next month, but right now, then hit that subscribe button. Because this is just the beginning. We're building something powerful here at Education Bench, a community of ambitious learners who are done with outdated methods and ready to prep with precision. Every week, we share exclusive AI hacks, hidden tools, and breakthrough techniques that most students will never hear about. Why? Because they're buried under the noise, and we bring you the signal. Join the Education Bench movement. Thousands already have. And they're not just studying better, they're winning smarter. Subscribe now, drop a comment saying I'm in if you're ready to prep like it's 2025, and check the link in the description for free AI-powered resources we only share with our inner circle. Don't miss the next strategy. The next breakthrough might be your breakthrough. Let's master this together.